It is Wednesday. Did I mention that? I did. Which means that we are almost always joined by former Congressman Fred Grandy, and every once in a while, this is really the nice part. Not that we don't like Fred, but his rather lovely and talented bride, Mrs. Fred, sometimes joins him. I believe this is one of those days. Grandy's, good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
Oh, my goodness, Fred, nice to talk to you. Mrs. Fred, better to talk to you. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm glad you're having a bright, sunny day. Keep thinking about that sunshine because we've got some doom to tell.
Oh, for goodness sakes. You know, I thought Fred and I agreed last week, you got to open with a joke, right? No?
Oh, well, that was it.
Oh, okay.
Just remember this, Jeff. Every silver lining has a cloud around it.
Very good. Well, listen, we always love having you on, even though oftentimes you are the bearer of disturbing news. And part of that disturbing news is about Mitt Romney, right?
Well, yeah. Very, very quickly, I would just tell you that whoever is advising Mitt Romney, I think probably trained under the George Bush administration, particularly in the second term, because it was really under Bush and not Obama that the executive branch began essentially looking for ways to purge their documents due to Islamic demands of Islamophobia. And it was also the Bush administration's second term that began trying to make nice and extending olive branches to the Iranian regime, and you know how successful that's been. But really, right now, with Romney saying that we ought to be helping some kind of resistance in Syria, I have to say, wait a minute. Right now, you've got Hamas versus Hezbollah. You've got Saudi Arabia versus Iran in that part of the world, fighting over a country where we really do not have a tremendous strategic interest. And I would have to say, Governor, for God's sake, get out of the way. Yeah. But unfortunately, neither Republicans nor Democrats in any large number are advising either president to do that. So more to come, but unfortunately, I don't think it augurs well.
Just like here in the United States, Jeff, nobody's advising us to keep watching for creeping Sharia, and you know it's everywhere, and you know that in federal court there are documents that say the Muslim Brotherhood has a plan to Islamize our country. And you know, we talked not long ago about in the schools.
Right.
Not only have public school textbooks been rewritten to shine a more pleasant light on Islam, but now, you know, mandatory Arabic, you heard about that last week?
Yes.
Mandatory Arabic in a New York City elementary school. So you have to ask yourself, why is that? Well, think about the Muslim Brotherhood. I'm not kidding. You come to find out, thanks to WorldNet Daily, that this particular school in New York, the Hamilton Heights Elementary, got $250,000 from the Qatar Foundation International.
Wow.
QFI, which is associated with some very shady characters, including Tariq Ramadan, the grandson of the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood, and Yusuf Qaradawi, known as the Brotherhood's theologian of terror.
Our old friend.
Yeah, our old friend. And this is just the beginning, Jeff. QFI is doling out money to schools across the United States for similar cultural programs for our kids, but for the adults, not that you'd be welcome to the meeting. None of us would be. But an international Islamist organization devoted to establishing worldwide Islamic theocracy is going to hold its third Khalifa, and that means, of course, Caliphate, conference later this month in Chicago. The theme is Muslims Marching Toward Victory. I'm not kidding. This group, Hizb ut-Tahrir, has been banned in many countries because they mean to destroy all non-Islamic governments, including ours, and they're not shy about saying so. But, you know, apparently our government isn't concerned. I did, however, see the video of last year's conference. It is beyond frightening. And now I yield the rest of my time to Mr. Fred.
I would just say that in connection with that, as a kind of pointed contrast, last November, groups like the Center for Security Policy and Pamela Geller's group Atlas Shrugged tried to have a kind of anti-Sharia conference in Nashville and were kicked out of their hotel.
That's right.
For doing so, because we were considered to be Islamophobes. So you can see the contrast. Hizb ut-Tahrir, which is an extremely violent jihadist organization, welcomed for the third year in a row to Chicago.
Unbelievable. Now, there's also a battle, I think we can describe it as a Middle East conflict taking place, but it's taking place in New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. New Jersey 9, the congressional primary, Democratic primary, is a microcosm of the Middle East, or if you prefer, a kind of junior varsity jihad, because what you have there are two incumbent Democrats, Bill Pascrell and Stephen Rothman, both elected in '96, both card-carrying Democrats, who got thrown into the same district. But what this has become is a fight between the Muslim interests and the very strong Jewish interests in an area that covers most of Bergen County, Hackensack, Fort Lee, fairly affluent.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're seeing, for example, are ads, Arabic language posters that essentially say this is the most important election in the history of the Arab community. The Jewish side is saying essentially what the Arabs are saying is we want this Jew out of office. And Pasrell has been supported by a controversial imam named Mohammed Khatani, who is fighting deportation himself because of his membership in Hamas.
Wow.
But the sad news is that Pasrell won decisively, Jeff. He won 61 to 39, and this, I think, is probably a chilling signal to a lot of the pro-Israel groups there, because of essentially this was portrayed as a vote for Israel versus a vote for Palestine, and Palestine won. Now in the general election,
right,
the guy that's running is a guy named Shmueli Botich, who describes himself as America's rabbi.
Yes, that's
Good
correct.
luck.
That's right. Well, he's an interesting guy. I mean, he got the Republican nod. He's certainly a very successful author and speaker.
Sure.
He's never run for anything before, but it's going to be a fascinating contest.
It'll also be fascinating to see how much money pours into that district to take this guy out, because the Arab American Institute has already put $50,000 in for Pasrell, and I would expect much more to come.
Wow.
So would this be the first creeping Sharia fight?
Well, I would say this is stand up and vote Sharia right now. I mean, this is winning in civilization jihad by our own hands.